Welcome to Fred Achando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. The former Interior Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Fredrick Ooko, has been illegally detained at the DCI headquarters. Revealing the information, one of his lead lawyers, the Rorieda MP Otiende Amollo, revealed this to Kenyans. This is what he said. Interesting times with the former Interior CS Fred Matiangi at the DCI headquarters Kiambu. 5 hours later, still held in abeyance after only 15 minutes of engagement. This despite a High Court order. This is no investigation. Pure vendetta and witch hunt. Sad indeed. That was the information that was released by Mr. Otiende Amollo, because Mr. Otiende Amollo was one of the lead lawyers together with Danstan Omari and many other lawyers. Now, earlier in the day, Fred Matiangi obeyed the summons by the DCI to go for interrogation. He was accompanied by some of the Azimio supporters, some of his former colleagues, and a host of many lawyers. Now, when they reached the DCI headquarters, the Kenya Kwanza team realized that supporters had thronged there to give Mr. Matiangi moral support, and they brought in very fast the elite squad of the GSU to man that area, something that I think is okay, because the DCI headquarters is a very sensitive place and they cannot allow access to every Tom, Dick and Harry. But that support also scared them, because they did not know that Fred Matiangi would receive such massive support. There was also a kind of standoff, because Mr. Matiangi had been accompanied with very many lawyers. Okongo Omogeni, Danstan Omari, I saw Otiende Amollo, and many other lawyers, some of whom I'm even forgetting their names. So the DCI and the authorities declined to allow the lawyers to get into the room. I think they wanted either Matiangi or just a few of them to get in. So there was a standoff. But after consultation, they allowed the lawyers to get in, because I believe that every Kenyan has a right to be represented, a right to representation by the lawyers. Now, what Mr. Otiende Amollo is revealing is quite funny and very startling. That the interrogation only took place for about 15 minutes. But then they decided to detain Mr. Matiangi for more than 5 good hours. Now, this is happening despite an anticipatory order that Fred Matiangi had acquired. Now, that anticipatory order is long, and I just want us to go together to number 4 at the very tail end. Number 4 says, because it is the subheading is, it is hereby ordered. Orders are there from number 1 to number 4. So in the interest of time, I want us to read together number 4. Number 4 says that for the avoidance of doubt, the first to 6th respondents are at liberty to investigate any criminal conduct by the applicant. However, they shall not arrest or detain him in view of order number 3 above. So when Matiangi went to a court of justice, they gave him this anticipatory order, because Fred knew very well that this political witch hunt would continue. They would come at any time, at night, in the morning, they would come to harass him. So he acquired an order. And this order allowed the DCI, allowed the anti-corruption department, any other institution that wanted to investigate Fred Matiangi. The court allowed them to do so. But they said that they are not allowed to arrest or detain him in view of the orders that have been given. Despite all this, the Kenya Kwanza team, the DCI, went ahead to detain Fred Matiangi. What does this show you? Because from, we've always speculated that the real reason, the real motive behind Fred Matiangi's, summons were just political witch hunt and motivated by a lot of revenge mission, because I have heard Kenya Kwanza team saying that Matiangi was in charge of maybe the DCI and the police during the previous regime, and they claim that there was a lot of harassment from Matiangi, from the police, and they want to hold Matiangi accountable. You see, let us speak the truth, because I have seen people add their voice to this, and I want to reiterate and to be in line with them. Fred Matiangi was taking orders the same way the DCI is now taking orders from this regime. If they have a problem with the orders that Matiangi orchestrated or obeyed, let them go for the real man. The real man here is the former the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Now they are trying to beat around the bush, but all they want is that they want to go for the sacrificial lambs for whatever they feel were the wrongs that were performed against them. I really find it very difficult to understand why a government that came into power and took allegiance and swore to protect the laws of our land and to ensure that they rule with justice can now go against a court order that has been given. This is very wrong. Now, the investigation only took place for 15 minutes, and then they want to detain him for 5 good hours. Now, what does it for? It means they did not have any tangible even to ask Mr. Matiangi, because for only 15 minutes, it seems whatever they wanted had been proved, and so they want to detain him. Maybe they want they are still trying to consult their bosses. What do we do with Matiangi now that is in our hands? Maybe they want to, add in more charges. They want to, cook something that will justify whatever they are doing. Or they are also trying to show him that they are now the bosses, that Mr. Matiangi is under their mercy. They can only release him. And if this continues to happen, ladies and gentlemen, we are going back to the darkest days, detention without trial. Because we cannot be in a country where you are arrested and you show them a court order, but they don't want to obey. The other time when they broke into Fred Matiangi's home, they were requested to produce a search warrant. There was none, but nevertheless, they decided to get into the house. So today, this is a test. The Kenya Kwanza is trying to test 1, 2, 3 and see what will happen. The crowd that is waiting outside is also thorn in their flesh. They're just wondering if they release Matiangi, and then maybe Matiangi is going to give a press conference and is going to tell the people that there was nothing tangible. Kenyans must stand up against these attempts, because we cannot go back to the days where we had a one-party state, where someone would just come into your house without any search warrant. Someone will just pick you up anytime, and they run around with you without even telling where you are going. If we don't do this, then we'll find ourselves in the days of the Nyayo era. But Mr. Matiangi has proved them wrong, and these detentions are mere gimmicks, the last kicks of dying. They don't know what to do with him, because they find him with no charges at all. They find him innocent, and they don't know what to do. Like I said yesterday, they have told their supporters that Matiangi is culpable. He ran away from the DCI. Now the DCI was there with them, and they didn't know what to ask him. They didn't have something tangible. So this detention, at the center of it, I have a problem with the court order that is being thwarted. A slap in the face. And we want to see what is the next course of action, because if there is a court order that had barred the DCI from detaining Mr. King Matiangi, and they legally go ahead and perpetuate the very act that they have been cautioned against, what does it mean? It means that we are setting a very bad precedent, because today it is Matiangi, today it will be you. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya, this is what we call democracy under threat and democracy under test. I understand that a while ago Raila Amollo Odinga was on his way to go to the DCI, and I think one of the things he's going to find out is why Matiangi is being detained, yet there is a court order that is barring them. But I'm happy that he's got a team of good lawyers that will be able to ensure that nothing illegal is perpetuated beyond its detention. The Kenyans who also support him. And I saw very many sons of Omogus who went there to give him the moral support. And the government find themselves in a very dirty quagmire. They don't know what to do because they are deluded that they want to deal with him. But political witch hunt cannot hold. We are in a new dispensation, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what you think.